Hello and welcome to Level 2, Session 3 of Simple Cooking with Heart. This week we're going to be talking about beans as an important plant-based source of protein and other nutrients to include in a heart-healthy diet. Let's first clear up our definitions. You may have heard of legume grains or just plain legumes. Legumes are a group of vegetables that include beans, peas, black-eyed peas and split peas, and lentils. But for the purposes of this class, we're just going to use the term beans. We do want to differentiate, though, between these beans and green beans or string beans, which are actually narrow pods containing small seeds, and they're relatively low in protein, whereas the beans that we're going to be focusing on are actually just the seeds, and they are high in protein. Now in Level 1, Session 2, I talked about the importance of eating all the different parts of the plant. The roots, the leaves, the stems, the flowers, the fruits, and the seeds. And the beans are the seeds. They come in all different kinds of colors, shapes, sizes. I pulled together some of the dried beans that I have in my pantry. 3 different kinds of lentils, as well as black beans and garbanzo beans or chickpeas. There are also white cannellini beans and pinto beans, kidney beans, many different kinds of beans. A bean for every occasion. Now, generally speaking, the darker and more colorful the bean is, the higher the antioxidant activity in that bean is going to be. Beans are that rare source of protein that are naturally low in fat, so no saturated fat or cholesterol, in contrast with meat, poultry, fish, dairy, and eggs. Beans have many health benefits, including reducing risk for heart disease by lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, reducing risk for certain cancers, helping to control blood sugar and giving consistent energy throughout the day, and keeping our digestive systems healthy because they're full of fiber and they help us to feel fuller longer. In fact, 2/3 of a cup of beans has 12 grams of fiber, which is 1/3 of the average daily recommended amount. Beans are also a good source of B vitamins, which are needed for many functions in the body, including helping to convert food into energy. They're also high in iron, potassium, folate, and magnesium. In Level 2, Session 1, I talked about the importance of potassium in balancing sodium in the body and helping to keep blood pressure in a good range. 2/3 of a cup of beans has 500 milligrams of potassium, which is over 10% of the daily recommended amount for a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Beans can be purchased fresh, dried, or canned, depending on your preference. A nutrition tip for getting the most out of your dried beans is to soak them overnight, simmer them on the stove until done, and then let them sit an additional hour in the cooking liquid to reabsorb the nutrients that have leached out. In terms of nutrition quality, canned beans are even more nutritious than dried ones. In the store, look for the beans that have the least amount of sodium and added sugars, and then you can give them a good rinse before you prepare them at home in order to get rid of any extra sodium or sugar. A very nutritious bean is edamame, or young green soybeans. And for a really delicious snack, boil the pods in lightly salted water, and then you can just pop the seeds out of the pod directly into your mouth, and they're really delicious. The best news of all is that beans are very budget-friendly food if you follow these tips. So choose dried beans in large bags. You can store them for up to a year in an airtight container in your pantry. Canned beans are also economical and last up to 2 years if unopened. You can even save more money by purchasing store brands and stocking up during sales, but do check for sodium and added sugar on the labels. You can substitute 1 cup of beans for every 2-ounce serving of meat or poultry or fish to replace those in your favorite recipes, and save money by eating more meatless meals. So join the Meatless Monday movement and serve at least 2 meatless meals a week, featuring plant-based foods like beans, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. That's going to be less expensive than having meat, poultry, or fish at every meal. So I hope you will include more beans in your meal plans. And now it's time to get cooking with Raphael.